EU. Winner here in this set plays the winner of SK versus Megashock, but we gotta get through this one first. Game number one, Black on first ban, first pick option here. Diana and Yorick gonna be the first two out.
Yeah, so we'll see what they're going to pick, but pick me a winner, face roller. I want to see something unusual. Both of these teams have brought such unusual comps in the past. They've had some non-standard play, which is it's always exciting to see. Black, they're the up-and-comers. They had a really nice showing. I'm trying to remember where was the big tournament that they had their breakout a while back.
Summer Arena.
No, they lost at Summer Arena because they didn't have their subs. Before then, they had a big tournament that they won.
They've had a lot of like small tournaments, like the was it the IPL5 or the GoForLols? Yeah, they had some of those.
Okay, I don't remember. There was I guess maybe it was just the qualifier for the Summer Arena. But yeah, so I mean, they've been trying to make their breakout. They haven't had their full team together all the time. So they're all here. We'll see if that how that helps them and whether or not they can make some things. Fat Mama has always had issues in every single game that we watch of getting caught out early. As the support. And that's tough. It's, you try and make aggressive plays for your team. You try and ward aggressively and whatnot. And support, because you're not allowed to buy the same, glitzy items that everyone else is. You have to go buy boring support gold pretends and whatnot. You don't get to get the boots level 1. So if you get caught out of position, it's so difficult to escape as a support. And that's kind of what we've seen. So we'll see how he's improved. Every game it seems to be getting a little bit better. But we'll see how that kind of works. Fnatic, on the other hand, they've been favorites for such a long time.
Yep.
Coming back into the scene, I thought they were going to take third at Gamescom.
I think everyone did.
I thought they were going to beat SK. SK looked really impressive there.
Well, it just seems so weird. You going into Season 2 champs and you're not going to have the returning champions there. It's kind of a weird feeling, a weird inkling. It's like, but they won last time. Why are they not here? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, teams come and go. You look at the teams back then, and I'm trying to remember some of the other teams. There was like Game Hoppers.
AAA.
No, sorry, Lowland Lions. Were they there? Maybe.
No.
I remember there was some Gamed, maybe Game.de.
Game D was there. Yeah.
Just a bunch of old teams that just don't exist. AAA, like you said. Epic, they basically just created themselves for that tournament. But it was a weird time because there weren't any tournaments leading into the World Championships, so there were hardly any teams coming into like a month before the World Championships for season 1. There were only like 3 teams qualified. You were looking at it, the brackets, and you're like, so who's going to be playing exactly? Because there was just no one. There was TSM, CLG, Fnatic, and that was like it. You didn't know who any of the teams were. AAA might have been there as well, but everyone kind of came on last second. But so far, we had the Shen pick, and that's going to be very strong for Black. Ezreal and Nunu, which is kind of an interesting combo. That's like a devastatingly strong bottom lane. It's really difficult to deal against, but not usually a standard, pairing that you see between the two of them.
But we've talked about Ezreal on stream a lot in the past, and that's the beauty about Ezreal, is that he can match up with nearly any support.
Right.
He's very flexible in that regards. But looking over on Black's side, though, Fat Mama will be running the Sona, and that's the one champ we see Fat Mama get caught out a lot with. Sona, he wants to get the Q, you want to get the harass, and all of a sudden you're a little bit far enough out of position, you get ganked, you get killed. So hopefully Fat Mama's going to be okay on that one. But we've seen this before. Curse EU wasn't wasn't really very successful with the Rengar top lane, but Black has been, and last time we saw Black run Rengar top lane, it was actually in a 2v1, and he did amazingly well.
Yeah, no, it has been pretty interesting. 2v1, was this you and Nick casting one of the games that you guys looked at?
I believe so.
Oh, cool. Who was playing?
It was Black. They were going up against, let me look at my notes, Game Hoppers.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to go take a look at that game. I was catatonic for Thursday and Friday, basically. But Lulu being picked out as well. So they're going to be Nunu jungling, and then seems to be grabbing that Aurelia as well. I'm assuming that Aurelia is already picked, even though the color scheme is looking kind of off.
We've shifted over to Black side, so that is an Aurelia pick. So, Lulu, there's still a little bit of options here, because you could send Lulu mid. Lulu's support could be Nunu in the jungle, so there's still a little bit of confusion about where everyone in Fnatic's going to be going at the moment. But Black, they're going to make their last 2 picks. Still need the AD and the AP carries, so we'll see who they pick in just a moment.
Yeah, so they have a number of options. I don't know. We have seen Face Roller play Galio a couple of times. I don't know, what else he has in his pool. Oh, I like the Mordekaiser though. That'll be exciting. So
we're talking about that push.
Yeah, it does allow them to counter push the lanes pretty easily. It should, I don't know. They need pick-off potential. Like they need someone to insta-burst, because that's what Rengar does. Rengar feeds off of insta-killing someone, and then try and snowball the fight from there. So we'll see how that can kind of work. Rengar versus Aurelia will be a difficult lane matchup, though. Aurelia is one of the stronger laners that can match up against Rengar. So we'll see how he kind of controls the lane. That's going to be kind of interesting. You can, figure out those lane mechanics. I do really like the Ezreal Lulu. That's been kind of a common lane that we've seen in the past. The harass from it can be very strong. It's a very strong dueling lane. It just has, so many options to them. So we'll see how that kind of works. And it also allows them to pump up Aurelia. They could go with like an Orianna right here. That would be kind of common, and just look for that kind of poking potential. It's again weird because it doesn't really work with the Nunu. Nunu's kind of an oddball in the team comp that they're running right here, but Nunu's just so strong in general, and if they wanted to deny the Nunu pick from Black, then that makes sense as well.
Yep. But yeah, it will be the Morgana being picked on Black, so it's going to be a little bit of a passive farm, waiting for the countdown to come on in, going for a last pick, Mordekaiser, seal that one in. Yeah,
there we go. I like
it.
Yeah, so going with the Mordekaiser and Face Roller, they were taunting him, but unfortunately Fnatic has now won because Mordekaiser is the #1 champ in the game. So XPK, we'll see what he could do with Mordekaiser, but yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think Lulu in particular will do very well with Mordekaiser to help him keep his shields up, if he can keep his farm up. So it's going to come down to how quickly Black can be, how aggressive they can be early in the game. Because Mordekaiser versus Morg can't really pressure him that much. Like, as far as lane harass is going to go, it's going to be almost non-existent. Oh, they're jungling Rengar. We've seen jungle Rengar a number of times in the past. I'm kind of curious if they were maybe going to go top, but then because of the Aurelia pick, they decided to swap it into the jungle, because Aurelia is just such a tough lane for Rengar. And AP Rengar in the top lane, if you haven't seen AP Rengar, like, we've seen it so many times recently, it's a lot of fun to play. Once Rengar gets items, his W, you get a double tap on his W, so it's an instant proc. With his passive, you get to instantly do it. So it does a ton of AoE damage. It heals you a lot. With Deathfire's Grasp, you're looking for insta kills, along with your Invis ultimate. However, in lane, his cooldowns are very long, and the cooldown on his heal is almost like a minute, when you consider that you have to spam abilities in order to get his heal active again. And Aurelia is just such a strong laner. In that time period when his heal is down, Aurelia can just chase down Rengar easily and just, bully him out of lane or even kill him early on in the game. So that's a tough matchup. So, it makes sense to send him in the jungle. But we'll see, what kind of pressure they can get on with that jungle Rengar, because we have seen it some in the past, and it's been pretty strong in counter jungling. With the Q, Rengar can instantly kill minions, and then also the ganks can be really cool with the ultimate.
I'm looking at XPK's runes for Mordekaiser, and this is just
very
kind
cool.
of like it's a very nice organized mess.
I am surprised at the health per level, though. The health regen per level.
Well, it is Mordekaiser. I mean, he does use health to actually use his abilities.
Right.
So it seems, and also you're going to be in the mid against a passive farmer like Morgana, and you're just going to be spamming those abilities to just try and out farm.
Well, and that's why I think health per 5 is such a cool thing to do, because Morgana has almost no harass, but she will be able to wear him down a little bit, so that allows him to just, sit in lane and farm, which is what Mordekaiser always wants to do. But the health per level, I understand, wanting the early health regen, but late game health regen, I'm not sure that it's going to be that significant when compared with the rest of his skill kit. But, I'm not saying that it's wrong. This is, XPK, I'm sure he's tested this a number of times. He's decided what he wants. I just think it's a really cool, kind of rune page. So
Yep.
we'll see how that kind of works. Morgana, because Mordekaiser isn't very mobile, if he's caught out of position, Morgana could just chase him down with the ultimate and pick up kills really easily that way. So that's going to be really dangerous for XPK, particularly with Rengar in the jungle. Like they could, maybe pick up kills there if XPK is not being careful. So we'll have to see how that kind of works out.
I do think Black's going to be a little bit concerned about their own jungle. Mostly when you see a Mord and a Morgana, first off in the mid, one of the common things you will see those champs in mid do is loop on back around, grab the wraiths, or even if they don't see their opponent in lane, they'll swoop on in and steal the enemy wraiths. But also on Fnatic, look, you have Nunu. With that, Consume is a very good counter jungler, and since this is going to be a passive lane in mid, those wraith camps, when those get picked up by the mids, that could be the deciding factor on who outfarms whoever does it with such frequency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Morgana is a little bit safer in that regard. That's usually one of the strengths of Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser, you expect him to hit 200 CS in 20 minutes. Like, that's just what Mord does. He just power farms. But Morgana is a little bit safer in that regard, particularly once she hits blue. So we'll kind of see. If Mordekaiser gets off to a nice start, though, he can maybe bully Morgana around a little bit because she has to, use mana in order to farm, whereas he's just kind of spamming.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of an interesting thing. I want to see how XPK is going to build because I know we've talked about this in the past, but Mordekaiser builds have really evolved a lot, and now with the nerf to Abyssal Scepter, I think that you can still do Abyssal Scepter on Mordekaiser because it is kind of a common starting item. You go for like a DFG and then go for the Abyssal Scepter after that. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what he does in this situation, or whether or not he wants to be in the middle of their team, because the disables from Morgana and Shen and Sona and whatnot, along with the damage that Corki has and the true damage that Corki has, that could actually they could insta-kill Mordekaiser almost before he's able to get his shield regen going. So that could be kind of dangerous for him in fights.
Yep. We do see, though, that in the past that when since the changes to DFG, champs like Mordekaiser, even champs like Vlad, manaless champs, if they do decide to rush for the DFG, you will usually see them run runes and masteries to give them a little bit extra spell vamp to try and make up for the loss of the early revolver that you'll sometimes see champs like this buy. And we saw XPK's runes and masteries earlier. There is no spell vamp whatsoever. It should be a standard opener of the revolver, but from that point on, there are plenty of options though.
Yeah, you do see that sometimes. I'm trying to remember who we saw that ran all that spell vamp in the past on Mord.
I cannot remember for the life of me.
I
remember the build. I just don't remember the man.
It is kind of interesting, though, but I honestly, I wouldn't even get Revolver. I mean, that's why I'm kind of curious how he's going to build, because Revolver used to be such a key part of Mordekaiser's build, but at this point in time, it feels like almost a waste of gold to me.
Well,
and so I'd be surprised.
With the health regen, though, could also be a supplement. Also,
right. So it's because it doesn't build really well now. You don't want to waste the money on Woda as Mordekaiser later in the game. Obviously, you're going to want it. But I don't know, it's weird because Hextech Revolver, it used to be that Hextech Revolver, you get it, and that's when you know you've won the lane. Once you have Hextech Revolver on Mordekaiser, you beat anyone in lane. However, it sets back his team fighting potential. So I'm curious whether or not it still stays in the build.
Going to be seeing the jungle Rengar here from Black. Not top lane like we've usually seen Black play him, but we'll see how he does.
They're moving in for it.
All right, let's see here.
I think that's the defensive position, though, because they expect Black to be coming up on the side, and if they actually go for it, then Black is in a really serious situation here.
You do see Fnatic just waiting their time in their bush. All of Black has now moved on into Side River, but whoever makes the first move is in a serious disadvantage, and there you go. You see on the side, Fnatic, all of Black coming out into the try with Dapper out in front, but Sina getting low. Also, Dapper flashing on first blood, go to the Aurelia. Sona getting a kill onto the Nunu, but game over for Arcade Sona also. 2 for 1 in favor of, 2 for 2. Wait, no, 2 for 1 in favor of Fnatic.
Yeah, and Shen's in a dangerous spot too, but he's going to get out of there. The burst damage that Fnatic has is just so strong. Mordekaiser with the shield, he just bursts right into the middle of the team.
Yep.
Lulu and Ezreal. So that AoE damage and poke is just nasty. And Corki in particular, Corki walked out right in front, trying to get out there. Nunu was close to going down, and did in fact go down. And that's kind of why Corki died, is because he was over pursuing, trying to make sure they got that first kill. But as a result, he walked right into all of this AoE damage, and so has jumped on top of him. So huge disadvantage early on. And then if you look at the summoners, actually not that bad for both teams. So all of the carries were able to hold on to their flash, which is interesting. Usually in a level 1 team fight, you expect to see a number of those carries lose the flash, and particularly someone like Corki. When there wasn't a disable from Fnatic, how did Corki, you know, not just flash back out of there? But I don't know, it's kind of an interesting situation. I guess Soaz maybe was hit down a little bit. He was low health and then got the stun on the Equilibrium Strike, but we didn't quite see that. Yep. So I don't know, but the lanes should be okay as a result. Like, there's no serious advantage. There is an advantage for Ezreal having that long sword. That's definitely going to be huge, but I don't know, we'll kind of see whether Aurelia can abuse the top lane with that Doran's.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the 2 kills for Fnatic are on Ezreal and Aurelia. And for why did I almost say Leona? She's not even in this game. But for Black, the 1 kill happened to go to Fat Mama, happened to go to support, and that will get some boots. That will get Fat Mama a little bit of a movement advantage. Maybe, hopefully, not get caught out as much in the bot lane. But that longsword, that's going to be an early phage for the Ezreal, and just a Doran's top lane to start is very rough to contend with.
Just be honest, you want Leona in every game. Leona is cool, and Iron Stylus, he's even cooler. So you're just like looking for Leona in every single match that we watch. Why not? Why not? But we'll see how they can pressure this right now. Cyanide, if he can kind of abuse the jungle at all. Rengar is fast enough that we shouldn't see that much counter jungling from Nunu, and he actually has a slight advantage right now. So that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. We'll see how Cyanide progresses.
Cyanide does have that double buff. Is looking to walk around. Look at the harass Alvic is taking that early on. But despite the first kill, Dakozi and Fat Mama are still looking to push this bot lane. The rest of Black, they're taking quite a bit of a beating in the remaining 2 lanes. So for now, there's a little bit of a saving grace for Black in the bot if they can manage to get this out of control. Let's also take a quick look at Nebrin. Does have the double up, level 4. Cyanide is actually still level 3. So Rengar, once he hits 6, he is very deadly, but now you got Cyanide here coming to the bot lane. Exhaust going down onto the Corki, but there you go, Fat Mama, we were talking about this before, getting caught out a little bit too far. All the rest coming in, and the Ezreal will get the kill onto the Sona. Fat Mama,
that's just a long lane, though. Lulu has such great chasing power, along with Nunu. The Blood Boil with the Pix combo is just so powerful. Corki just barely avoiding that. Very fortunate there. Dakozi actually needs to back off. He's fortunate Lulu doesn't have any mana right now. Otherwise, he might be going down. But I don't know, it's interesting. The Lulu and Nunu combo, Nunu's not usually the best ganker, but that movement speed for chasing people down is just devastating. And actually, I think it's cool how in the top lane, Soaz, with that early lead, normally Shen would be expected to win that lane against Aurelia through the first, 5-6 levels or whatever.
But look what Aurelia has.
Yeah, Aurelia with the Dorans has been able to just bully him around. And usually Aurelia is not strong enough to dive on Shen, and he can just slowly wear her down with the harass.
So we talked about this before. We talked about Fat Mama getting caught, and we've established this too that with Nunu, with Lulu, that is a lot of slow. That is a lot of chase there in the bot lane. For most lanes, like the danger zone seems to be like seems to be right when the river ends. Yeah. So you're right here, bot lane like this right here is like the big threat zone. But when you have so much slow, when you have that much like poke and harass coming in from Fnatic, the zone is a little bit more widened. So it was like, so what recommendations would you have like for Fat Mama going forward? Actually, you got the lead from the Wish going from Napper next week, taking a little bit of a chunk. We'll be fine though.
Yeah, it is some nice harass, and that's kind of interesting how strong the ganks can be from Rengar in that mid lane, being able to dive. As long as you can use the brush from Rengar, that can be nice. As far as the bottom lane's concerned, just getting a ward in the river, and that's all they can really do. Usually Ezreal and Lulu is going to push. They were kind of pushed at that time, so they were kind of vulnerable right there. But I don't know, I think now it's really just that Sona, it was before level 4, and Sona didn't have movement speed yet. She only had her Q and W. Now that she has her movement speed with her E, she doesn't.
She still
wow.
hasn't purchased it.
So that's actually surprising, because I was going to say, once she hits level 4, that's when she should be a little bit safer, because she gets the first point in her E usually, and that would allow her to escape those mobility ganks. But the decision by Sona, Fat Mama, to skip that, it'll leave them a little bit more vulnerable to ganks, but it will make them a little bit stronger in lane. So it's kind of a risk. It's a a little gambit. I love that word. I use it all the time. But that's kind of the situation he's in. They know they're behind in lane, and rather than using the mobility, he's like, all right, I'm just going to go for this and see if we can try and pressure them with my Sona harass.
So as use the ult to push the lane, clear some time to go back, buy something nice, recurve bow, and a second Doran's, and Raided waiting right there in the bush, get some damage down on the Fat Mama, the Q, the power cord getting a little bit of damage, but Sona taking, unfortunately, a little bit more than she can dish out at the moment. Cyanide going to be taking that blue for himself, I believe. Mordekaiser doesn't need it too much. He is a manaless.
He could be greedy, though.
He could be greedy. Cyanide's going to be greedy. He's going to be a fat Yeti.
Yeah, he's going to grab that pretty easily. So we'll see, what kind of pressure Nunu can put in. I'm kind of curious if they can continue, if Fnatic still, pressures the bottom lane, if they might go after the Dragon as a result, since Nunu is pretty safe on Dragon.
Nice.
And Ezreal gives them the kind of speed they're lacking with Nunu.
So, I do want to take a little bit of a closer look on top lane, and as the game goes on, that creep lead is just starting to widen ever so much more. Because now you have both the champs top lane hitting 6, you do have the Waypoint constellation.
Dekozy, go for it.
Woo! Trying to get away. The nice Valkyrie in pursuit. The Ignite will be more than enough for Dekozy to get that kill. And Raided wants the kill on the Fat Mama, though. Support fight with a little bit of assistance. AD carry. Nice ult from Fat Mama. Very hard to see on that skin, unfortunately.
One more rocket.
One more something. And the flash for the kill. Dekozy bringing it back here in the bot lane.
Yeah, really nice job there. And Lulu was out of mana, so Sona baiting it in. XPK is coming down. Sona is way out of position and will surely go down. Soa is going in for Alvic. Will pick up that kill. And XPK flashing in, uses the ultimate to pick up Fat Mama. Will be able to get it with 1 E. He doesn't actually use it, but he's got it. So Corki will be able to back off. But what it does is it actually kind of evens out the lane. So, yes, it does help Nunu snowball a little bit. However, Corki and Sona, they were trying to push the lane into the tower to prevent Ezreal and Lulu from coming back and, from denying them a lot of experience. But they weren't able to do it in time because of the Mord pressure, which means that Ezreal has that nice, fat, juicy wave coming down bottom, and he's going to actually stay even with them. So rather than pulling ahead, yes, they get 2 kills on Corki from the previous fight. That was awesome. But because Mord went down and pressured bottom, it actually stabilized the bottom lane for them.
And I've seen a lot of talk about this recently, specifically with the Arcade Sona skin. And you saw it in that last fight too. The ultimate
and how cool it is.
Well, that's beside the point. The ultimate is a little bit difficult to see at times, and a little bit difficult to see in some of that chaos. Do you think that maybe even picking the skin, maybe actually working to Black's benefit here in the future?
Yeah, I mean, there can be slight advantages from skins. I don't think that any pro player, sees Sona ult come out with a different skin and thinks, oh, well, that's, I mean, maybe there's a slight advantage, but I think that Fnatic, they're strong enough players that they, can see the ultimate coming out. They can dodge it and whatnot. It's just a hair trigger reaction anyway, so you're not usually looking for the outline of an ultimate so much as knowing where it's going to be placed. But Morgana coming in, XPK, Naprian's here as well, the bind, XPK with the Ignite will almost surely go down, and they do pick it up. So nice play there. But
you do have Aurelia Soa's coming down from the top lane, looking for a little bit extra damage in the mid, just looking to cover the lane also. She's got such a huge lead on Shen already. It's okay, she can take a little bit of a vacation there. We got Cyanide here waiting in the bot lane, the snowball going down to Fat Mama, all that harass, plus the ultimate. Those slows are a little bit too much for Sona to handle, and she will go down yet again here in the bot lane. 4 deaths already on Fat Mama.
That's incredible, the movement speed that they're able to get Cyanide in range to ultimate, because that's one of the things that I was kind of wondering coming into this match, how Nunu's going to factor in, because usually you have Nunu, he gives great separation in team fights. The Blood Boil is kind of wasted on Ezreal. It's not as effective as it is on other champions, but his ultimate, it's there to separate a team fight, and Mord doesn't want to separate, he wants to be in the middle of your team, so that means they're using it not for separation, where usually you're like, oh, I have these backline champions I want to protect with my ultimate, they're using it to slow down the other team. They're using it to prevent them from leaving, which is an unusual use. It's not how you usually see the Nunu ultimate, which means that with the Blood Boil and the Lulu speed boost, he actually has the movement speed to get in range and do that.
And you also notice too that the Nunu building the third GP10, also getting the lucky pick. So that is a huge investment. Fnatic's expecting this game to go pretty late. We'll see how Nunu builds from there. We'll see what, and you know, that lucky pick is a little bit of AP. We may see some more AP items built on Nunu later because if they're going to be using the ult in that way, remember that ult was like a 2.5 AP ratio. It is something ridiculously huge.
Yeah, and maybe later in the game, but right now it's just standard. Alvik actually exchanging with Soaz. Soaz was going in on it, which is kind of surprising because Shen was at full health, so I'm a little unusual.
Again.
Cyanide, once they push up, they're going to actually be able to easily tank this. Lulu, the ultimate is up. She doesn't quite have enough mana to use her full combo, but if Nunu can get in range for Fat Mama, no, he's going to back off. So that is going to be a free turret for them, though. There's not enough mana on Wulunahu, so they're going to be okay. Face Roller, he's going in with the ultimate, and Shen has the taunt as well. The follow-up, nice. Ezreal is going to go down. The flash taunt actually trying to pick up Cyanide there. They will back off.
Nice flash in response from Cyanide, just like on the cusp of that taunt. Barely gets out there, but nice combo with Morgana and the Shen ult. There is the positioning. XPK is peeking out just a little bit. So are they going for Dragon? It looks like they are, but is caught out a little bit. Taunt coming into Sona ult to top off everything on there. The exhaust go down. Binding to go with it. Also, Face Roller just trying to get away, cannot get away from Soaz. Now in the middle of the fight in the 3v1 situation. Naprin is ducking in and out of the bush, wants to get that leap flash over, but the Cozy is caught out of position by Cyanide. The auto text from the Nunu should just be more than enough, and the snowball. Ezreal bringing Naprin very low, bola throw onto the Nunu. Cyanide, can he get away from this? He's got the Blood Boil, he has that movement speed, but will get out of there.
That was actually a great situation for Fnatic. You know, really nice play from them because that was Black. They had put themselves in an excellent situation to get that dragon and pull ahead in gold, or at least even up the game, because Corki had just come back from respawn. So Corki was full health coming into that fight, but Corki split from the rest of the team and actually kind of made a poor decision there because he chased off Nunu, whereas usually you see Nunu chasing off the AD carry.
Yeah.
So as a result, they didn't have quite enough damage to take down Aurelia. You know, most people from Fnatic were able to get out of there. They did get one kill, but not able to get quite the follow-up that they wanted to. And so it's kind of interesting that even with the mobility that Sona gives you, usually Sona is one of the best chasers in the game. They aren't quite able to, you know, finish off on Fnatic.
Still not a single point in the E, which is... I mean, we were talking about it like level 4 is like, oh, that's odd. But now Fat Mama's level 8, like dedicated, is like I'm kind of slow. I'm kind of a little bit lazy right now at this point.
And I think his thought process is that the enemy team, you know, they're not looking to have these big team fights anywhere where they're going to need to kite. They're really just looking to harass, exchange, you know, toe-to-toe. You saw in the previous fight, I'm not sure where the movement speed would have really helped them. Like, there wasn't a situation where it was like, oh, they need to be chasing down Fnatic, because once the fight had started, Fnatic was kind of stuck there. But in the meantime, XPK, he is kind of caught out. We'll walk through the ward. We'll be okay.
Not a whole lot more.
So I think Fat Mama, his thought process is just that, you know, they're not fighting right now for the most part. He just wants to be able to win his lane or put as much pressure on his lane as possible. And having the QW does that. Naprian coming in, though. Ezreal is stuck, but throws off the ultimate. And Corki coming in with the Lulu ultimate. And there's the leap back from Naprian coming out of the brush. Will be able to pick up that kill. Really nice job.
Nice heal. And he also had the double buff. That's a very dedicated fight, because if Naprian entered that fight relatively low with the double buff, passing that onto the enemy team could have been devastating. But we'll be fine. Still unaware that bottom bush is warded, though, so Lulu and Raiden going to be a little careful until the Rengar leaves. Taunt away from Alvik to get away from some of the rest from Soaz. But also to note, look at mid, look at the difference in farm. 127 to 176. We were talking about the 20-minute 200 farm on Mord. He's going to surpass that greatly.
Yeah, no,
look at this.
Mord is a free farm, and so he's definitely, you know, going to be very strong as the game progresses. That's probably going to be the biggest threat for Fnatic, whether or not they can deal with that. So as easily backing out of that turret. Because it's just, I'm not sure, you know, I thought they would have enough damage with the Corki combo and all of the disables, but because Mord is so far ahead in gold, you know, it's just going to be tough for them to take him down. If they can't burst him down, then they're going to be able to easily turn around those fights.
Ball thrown down onto Zoaz. Alvic, will he live from this? No, but Zoaz will also go down in the process, never getting the shutdown on the Aurelia top lane. So 1 for 1, a little bit more
going for it.
A little bit more in favor for Black though, because they did get the free assist. But yes, there is a dragon being attempted here from Fnatic, despite all the chaos going on top lane. Fat Mama peeking out in front, does have the ult up. Dragon getting very low. No, there will not be a steal. You do have the Nunu with that consume. That's a lot of true damage onto a neutral minion. And now here comes the poke. Here comes the slow. We've seen this before. Cyanide with the ice ball onto Fat Mama, but N-rated is very low on mana, cannot follow up on the harass.
And the slows are just, it's so difficult for them to chase. Mord is a little bit out of position. They're actually trying to grab him there. The bind does not hit. But the previous fight, XPK completely zoned Face Roller. He wasn't able to get into that fight. They were never really in position. So we'll see, you know, how that kind of progresses once Face Roller gets a couple of those items. They are trying to pressure the blue here, but it is down. I think it's down for another 3 minutes. Like, I think he got blue around 16 or like 15:30 or something. So
XPK out in the mid was pushing up the lane. Never again, a little bit of free damage on the Mordekaiser. Face Roller looking to commit. There is the ultimate. Gonna get that second partisan. Wait for the next bind plus the ignite. Naprin will get credit for that kill. Nice pickup in the mid.
Yeah, just barely enough damage, and having the stun on the E off the passive on Rengar is definitely really nice, because he was able to set up Morgana for that nice kill, and you know, they're able to chain stuns and chase him down. So we'll see how that kind of progresses. Ezreal is a little bit low on mana, so Corki might actually be able to pressure this and try and get this turret.
However, you do see Cyanide did pick up the Oracles to already clean up the somewhat lacking ward coverage of Black, especially in the bot lane. And you saw it multiple times, Cyanide getting in by sneaking in through the brush, because they are not warded to begin with. And just now, you know, Fat Mom realized, hey, we should probably ward those brushes. Oh, crap, you got an Oracles.
Yeah, and the Oracles, it will allow them that map control, so they don't have to worry about the aggression from Black. Particularly Rengar, you really need a long ward distance to protect from Rengar because of his gank potential. He can come down the lane very easily, so he's really difficult to ward against. But I don't know, we'll see how that goes forward. And you know, despite the advantages for XPK in the mid lane, Morgana is actually probably even with him in gold, because of the 2, 1, and 3. They're probably about even 1,000 gold behind. Oh, well, actually, the dragon, yeah, that would make the difference.
Yep.
And you know, a little bit of farm, but even so, it's not that big of an advantage for XPK. So Morgana is in a nice situation with that Zhonya's, where she can try and, you know, win some fights for them.
XPK has picked up the DFG. That is quite a bit of extra burst with his already huge kit. Face Roller, though, opted for the early Zhonya's. I like that call, especially when you have so much slow, so much chaos going to be going in the middle of these fights from Fnatic with everything that Nunu and Lulu has to offer. So that's going to be a very vital tool, especially for that initiation or counter initiation for the later team fights.
Yeah, so we'll see how this is going to kind of progress. But one issue that Black is facing, other than Sona going down again, is that Aurelia is in such control of the top lane. You know, the movement speed is so tough. Like, they just, if Fnatic decides to chase them, then they're able to do it. And if they decide to leave, you know, they can do it easily. So it's kind of unusual, because even though they don't have the best initiation, Fnatic has the movement speed and the chain slows, where they get to decide when the fights are going to happen in these small exchanges. So Black really needs those larger exchanges to be successful. But one of the struggles for Black is going to be that Alvic is just really struggling against Soaz in the top lane. Soaz is 60 CS ahead of him. He had the early advantage, and that means that Alvic isn't going to be able to split push like you would normally want to see from Shen, because Aurelia is going to just be shutting him down in that lane.
We also see a small deviation in the Rengar build than what we've seen from Black in the past. Usually, you know, what Black has done before, they'd go from like Kindle Gem to Brutalizer to the necklace. But you see right now, Naprin, he's looking for a presence. He's looking to be a little bit more on the support side, and also recognizing he needs a little bit of income. So you have the Aegis plus the Heart of Gold. That other Ruby Crystal, the third one he's picked up because he needed one for the other items, also should probably be the Kindle Gem. But just now, cooldown reduction is such a huge thing on Rengar, and only now is he starting to build into it.
Yeah, but early in the game, it's really, if he thinks he has enough burst to win those small fights, Dakozy Valkyrie with the Shen taunt is able to kill that turret, and Shen just barely not able to grab Ezreal. He is very low, though. But N-rated, I'm not sure that he has a good escape path. He does flash, but they should be able to grab him. But the slow, he almost gets out. Dakozy being able to pick up the kill there. Nice coordination. So the cooldown reduction for Rengar is huge for both the ultimate and also in team fights. All of his abilities can have kind of a long cooldown. But early on, if he's only planning on, you know, if he knows he has enough damage to burst someone down where he doesn't need to get a cooldown reset, then it's not as big of a concern. And he has very gold efficient items. All of his items, they're very, you know, cheap. They give him, you know, a lot of options. So that's definitely a really strong build. XPK trying to kill Face Roller here. Rengar coming in, trying to get the follow-up. The Zonias to prevent some of that ignite damage. And Naprian can barely take that kill. So really nice job.
May still go down. No, 30 health was one tick away on the ultimate from death. And that good call.
Yeah,
good call on that Zonias.
Yeah, really cool play. So it is interesting, even with a 4K deficit for Black right now, they're the aggressors. They're bullying around Fnatic and looking for their opportunities to, you know, come back in this game.
N-rated seems to have a little bit of a DC problem and the worst possible time.
Wow, Black, they are just going for it.
That's gonna suck.
They're like, oh, N-rated's DC'd. Let's pick up this free kill before he gets out of there. Though, to be fair, you know, he would have died regardless of the DC if he was legitimately walking out of there. But the reason he walked out was probably the DC. Can we go back to the very beginning of the game? Because I'm curious what the order of the items was for Mordekaiser.
Remember what happened last time?
5 minutes?
Remember what happened last time we did the rewind?
What do you mean?
How the game froze and we couldn't get back in.
I don't remember that at all. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, last time we did like a massive rewind when we were paused, like we couldn't actually get back in.
Well, that's because the game was over.
Right, I'm not taking that risk.
That only happens when the game is over.
I am not taking that risk. Real quick.
Well, there, you just did it. You've ruined us. You've doomed us all, AJ.
But, okay, all right, I'll quit. I'm quitting the game after this.
We were so close.
Revolver, lucky pick.
I know, but I wanted to see the order because we were so close. So it's interesting because he was scared of the burst damage, and he went for the revolver second. Okay, so I thought that he had gone for the pick a little bit earlier, but I actually didn't notice that he went the Negatron Cloak first, which was kind of interesting to try and protect himself against that Morgana burst. And it's worked for the most part, though he has gone down 4 times to that Morgana-Rengar combo. But
also keep in mind that he did a lot of invading to swoop in and grab the Wraiths.
Yeah.
So I think that also there's, you know, when he goes in, he wants to be somewhat protected because that does leave him vulnerable for a little bit of harass, not enough necessarily to get the kill. But he wants to be able to return to lane semi-healthy. And as the pause comes on in, we also do see the other rods. So that will be an Abyssal very soon. Does he have the gold? He's very close. He's 200 gold away from finishing the Abyssal.
Yeah, that's going to be incredibly strong. That's kind of the standard Mordekaiser build now. So, you know, that they can kind of bully them around with that. I'm curious whether or not the Blood Boil and, you know, whatever combo... Lulu combo is going to be strong enough for him to not be kited, because that's the big issue with Mordekaiser usually is that you can kite him pretty effectively. But we'll see how they go. He's dead. Like he's instant dead. There's nothing to do there.
There really isn't. But
his flash is down though. He used his flash. So I think he might have actually walked out there, unless that's a glitch. Maybe that might be a graphical glitch. No, he did. He used his flash. So before he DC'd, I guess he used his flash to try and get out or something.
Yeah, but
they do take the turret though.
With that unfortunate turn of events, Soaz coming in from the top lane, the exhaust going down. Ozzy really was not going to do a whole lot, and once again, Fat Mama caught without mana, nothing. That tower, Soaz can just tank it like it's no big deal. Double kill for the Aurelia, following up on the unfortunate accident that was the Lulu kill in the mid. A little bit of revenge for Fnatic there.
Yeah, Soaz is one bad Mama Jamma.
You got the race.
I'm trying to remember the rest of the lyrics. Never mind, I won't go on to it. But yeah, so we'll see how they can kind of, you know, if Fnatic can pressure their advantage and try and bully them around. They still have to worry about the quick burst potential. I love that game over on the Sona Death. That's so cool. They still have to worry about the quick burst potential you know, from Morgana and Sona and Rengar to just insta-kill some of their carries. And Black actually just being extremely aggressive. I love this, that Black, you know, even though they're behind, they're looking to come back. And you need to make plays to come back. So they know they're not going to make it by sitting in their base.
Yeah.
So being extremely aggressive, I really like that. But they are caught out.
Caught here. Nice spread. Nice split from all Black. Taunt over the wall. Good retreat path. Is like you'll sometimes see a lot of teams just like, well, if we're gonna get out of here, let's go leave together, and that's usually the wrong call. When you have 3 champs, they do have this, you know, they do have limits of mobility and CC. Nice split. Shen used taunt on the wall. So as going in once again for the kill on Fat Mama. Shen Shield going down onto Sona just for a little bit extra protection. Does not want to see that kill. Alvic with the taunt, not getting anybody on that. But XPK is caught behind, ult down onto the Cozy. Will he still get the kill? We'll see just a little bit. He should be fine. You got Wu out back. Dapperin with the leap onto a Bola throw also for the added slow. And now Black, despite despite most of their champ, you know, their big champ like Decozy being very low, still looking to aggress, still looking to make a difference in these small fights, and they may actually muscle out a tower in response.
Very, very cool play from Black, and they're able to pick people off, individuals, and that's what we're talking about, their burst potential. Pick off an individual and then get out of there. The Shen taunt, will they go for it? No, they're actually not going for it under the turret. A little bit concerned about the Aurelia, so they back off. But it was interesting because Corki went with the Trinity Force, whereas Ezreal went with the Infinity Edge. So usually kind of reverse situation there. But Corki knew that they were looking for that single target burst potential. Trinity Force gives them a little bit more of that. The new ultimate, it does slow down Alvic. It seems just enough, but he just barely gets out of there. How has he survived? No, just barely going down to the Glitter Lance. But Corki, can he get the turnaround? He's trying to pick up the kills. We'll be able to chase them off there. They're just a little bit too fast. He's getting the rockets, but doesn't quite have it.
Unfortunately, no kill is going to be happening. Well, like you got the Shen kill and the Soaz kill. There's 1-1s. There's no huge swing of gold in the kills in that last fight.
Shen was out though. He was not expecting the Glitter Lance. Nice job from N-Rated. It's you know, unusual to see like such a clear example of a support just being a boss. And N-Rated getting that long range. He had the shield on Aurelia in order to get that Glitter Lance off. So really nice play there. But so they have lots of burst potential, and their main goal, they don't want to have like just a full AoE fight, because that's going to be to Fnatic's benefit, because Fnatic's just going to be like, yeah, we're all really tanky and do a lot of damage. We're bruisers. Black, they want to have, you know, these pick-off fights. They want to just be able to grab one person with the snare from Rengar, setting up the Morgana bind, you know, grab one person, escape. And that's actually one of the nice things with Rengar, is he has that disengage. You can either use his ultimate to engage and kill someone, or you can use it to get the hell out of there. And, you know, he's kind of been using it for both. But they do have to worry about that Oracles. It does kind of shut down some of Rengar's potential.
Not only that, but he also, this is around the time when Baron starts becoming a possibility. Dapperin out top lane, caught out a little bit by Soaz, trying to get away as best he can, looking to meet up with the rest of his team. Alvic is split off a little bit. XPK and Phase Roller X melts before the ult even really happens. You heard the sound, but the cooldown has not gone up, so it's just no use whatsoever. XPK out in front, but he can deal plenty of damage to Dapperin, and Fnatic is just dipping in and out. Damage and then out of there, and then you have Phase Roller X. The best kind of tower tank in the game is a Mordekaiser Ghost right out in front, dealing a little bit extra harass on top of everything else. Nice pickup from Fnatic on that one.
Yeah, but even so, it was pretty impressive that Black were able to retreat fairly effectively. But Fnatic, they're all very high right now. Aurelia did go back in base, same with Nunu. So they weren't able to capitalize on that as much as they would like to and go for that Baron. But XPK, he's going in for it. But Rengar jumping underneath the turret, they instantly burst XPK down. He knew the turret was going down, but he didn't have the options. And the Shurellias, they're trying to get Aurelia, and with the red buff, Decozy, can he get it? Can he get that? Yes, he gets the red buff proc, but the Glitter Lance from N-Rated, it seems like it's just maybe too strong. Decozy gets the flash. They're going to be able to pick up the kill.
You got the shield, but not going to be all that good in protecting against from all this damage from Black. Dapperin, just noticed this now too. Guardian Angel.
Get out of there. What is he doing?
Alvic, he's just looking to...
He's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out. It's like, Nunu, man, how you doing? Have you eaten a few swords lately? If not, I think I can provide. But look at this.
Yeah.
There's that... there needs to be an Oracles on Black. There needs to try and just counter out the Oracles that Cyanide has. Because the ward coverage getting into this phase of the game, especially when Baron, is a very real possibility. And if Black wants to continue being this aggressive, they need one. They need to be able to clear the coverage.
Yeah, it's hard to pick people off if you don't have a vision advantage. But I think they're a little bit concerned about who would pick it up because they're all potentially going to die in these fights.
Yeah.
So they do back off. I love that GA on Naprian, though, and you were pointing it out, but he has a lot of really gold efficient items. He's getting deep into his build, and he's pretty tanky at this point. The GA just tops it off. But the nice thing is that he can be extremely aggressive, dive in with his ultimate, and then still have that refresh with the GA. He doesn't have to worry about going down because not only is he just incredibly tanky, but he gets the revive.
Yep. So I think that all that enough would be. It would make Rengar a very good candidate to grab that Oracles very soon. He has the gold to go back and get it, but there is the concern. You go straight out in front into a fight, and he's going to be stealth going into Liza. Oh, nice!
Oh my God, he's invisible.
Waiting for it. He is invis. Woo, getting hugely chunked out. Does burn the cleanse and the flash just to get out of there. That ignite damage.
Wow, I'm just imagining that from Ezreal's perspective. Can you actually rewind real quick?
I'm curious about that myself, too.
Because Rengar came in Viz, and this is just the funniest thing to me because he has no idea, and then all of a sudden, both Rengar and Shen are on top of him, and he just barely gets out of there. That's like the quick reaction time and, cool level-headed play. It's just so cool. Look at this. He's got to be like, what the hell is going on?
That's got to be, that's a frightening.
I just think it's cool
that's a possible poop your pants moment. I fear.
I just think it's cool that Woolino, had the calm-headedness to get out of there. But Morgana getting caught the Sun ultimate as well. XPK going down to the Cozy. They're actually going to be able to turn this around. Soaz going down in the middle of the team as well. Face roller. Oh, can they pick him up? Soaz gets the GA proc, but he will go down. He has no team to help him. And they're able to force a fight without Ezreal, and that is absolutely huge. So, Face Roller, really nice job there. Naprian going in once again. The Shen taunt. Black is turning this around. The Nunu ultimate is a serious issue for them, but they pick up the kill into end-rated. Ezreal's off on the side. They have to watch out. They don't let Ezreal turn this around, but still, they're picking up the kills very easily.
Taunt on the side keeps them behind just long enough, and the damage is too much to be dealt with. Fnatic just got completely swung out there. And here's the thing, that Oracles doesn't really help, protect against this Rengar ultimate when you're not with the rest of the team, when you're not with the target being focused here. And now you got Fat Mama with the Oracles helping clear out coverage. This Baron should be going down for Black here. The ultimate cannot pick up the steal, and Black has completely swung things back around.
I can't believe that they've made this big of a comeback so far against Fnatic.
It took like 2 minutes. It took like 2 minutes just to do all of that.
But it's been coming for the past 20 minutes. Fnatic has had such a huge early lead. They were able to really pressure them, and they've been such a strong team. They were able to be very successful. They were winning all of their lanes. But Black was never, on down. Like, you just saw their play style. They were never playing like they were behind. Yes, Fnatic grabs the dragon. That's huge to continue with their gold lead, but they're behind right now. Like, that's the fact of the matter because of the Baron and everything. And Black, the entire time, they were just cool, calm, collected. They didn't even care that Fnatic was ahead. They just slowly, kept pressuring them, and they kept on fighting them and putting themselves in these risky kind of situations, but they were able to make it out of there, and that's just really cool play from Black in my mind.
And I hovered over it earlier. Napper and Rengar, full stacks on the necklace.
Oh, what do you get for the max stacks?
You get bonus range on the leap and extra length of the ultimate duration.
Oh, which
is huge.
That's incredible.
Especially since they've been using the Rengar ult quite a bit as like the primary means of initiation. Those extra few seconds, it's invaluable. You can't put a gold price on that. It is too good to have, especially at this point in the game.
Oh, but Aurelia is going up top for Alvic. Alvic actually will be able to get that teleport out of there if Aurelia uses the Equilibrium Strike, but Soaz is holding it. There he uses it. This is actually Alvic's opportunity. There he goes. He teleports, recognizing he needs to get out of there, and just barely surviving.
Wow.
So, you saw Soaz holding on to that equilibrium strike as long as possible and just barely not able to finish up for the kill. Nice job by Alvic getting out of there.
Yeah, you have to have restraint when you're playing as Shen, when you need to use the ult in a situation like that. It's like you need to just double check everywhere. Does someone nearby have a stun? Can I be stunned? No, go for it. Ult on in, because that's the worst feeling in the world when you're in lane. You want to help somebody.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't ult sooner, but because it would only be a slow as opposed to a stun. You know, so but really nice job by Soaz. And Soaz risked a bad situation there. Like he risked a 4v5 for his team with Shen ulting in, but he knew that his team would be able to hold off, and he knew he had enough damage that he could just be really aggressive against Shen there.
So both teams sitting on back for the moment, looking to farm up. There hasn't been a whole lot of aggression from Black post Baron. And the buff is actually almost gone. They have about a minute left on the thing. So Baron should be coming back up around the 38-minute mark, 38 and a half. So there's still a little bit of time. There's still an objective or two that can be forced out. If with the right push, Black should be able, they're going to take out the tier 1 in top lane, no problem. They may be able to also squeak out the tier 2 in top. But as you see, you got Black moving on down. kool getting caught out a little bit too far into the lane, but does have a Guardian Angel. So that's number 2 for Black. And the cooldown actually on Soaz is not back up yet. Still got another minute on it.
Yeah, so they do have to worry about that for a little bit, but I mean, they just want to stall anyway right now. Late game, Mort is very strong, but Corki has a significant advantage over Ezreal, so we'll kind of see how that works. And they are pressuring them. Aurelia will be pretty strong late game as well, but I don't know, they might be unkillable for Black at some point. And I think that's kind of the concern for Black right now, is they've been able to pressure Fnatic, and they almost have it even. Like that's absurd to consider at this point, that, you know, Black has been able to pull it back this far. But there's a point in the game where Fnatic could almost become unkillable to Black. So we'll see if Fnatic can hold off to that point.
Yeah, so 38-30, count it. That's when the Baron's going to be back. And Soaz waited long enough. The Guardian Angel proc is now back. You got the extra life here, earned it back. And everyone's back looking to buy here. Alvic starting onto his own Trinity Force also. Got the stun for Arcade, had the Wit's End for a while still. You got Corki, you got kool with the BF, so with the Bloodthirster. Looking to build a little more. Last Whisper looking to be next. Cyanide, this is interesting. You got the Warmogs, and you got a Force of Nature. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's so tanky at this point. Like they're all really tanky. But it goes along with the movement speed that we were talking about earlier. He's so fast with that Force of Nature. He can chase them down very easily. He can disengage, but he can also try and get that ultimate right in the middle of the team.
I also like I like N-rated here, because you do see Lulu as, you know, one of the pursuit support, looking for those slows. And with that, you're going to be getting relatively close to the team, and I like the pickup of the Randuins. So you add another layer of slow onto everything you're already offering. I like it. I think it's a nice pickup.
Yeah, no, it makes her a little bit tankier. You know, there wasn't anyone else on the team that was going to be able to finish it soon enough, and so that's kind of a situation where you want an item on your team, and if you recognize that no one's going to be able to get it in time, you just go ahead and buy it. So I mean, that's a nice pickup for them. It would be nice to see a Zeke's Herald on their team. It would definitely work with what they're trying to do, because they have kind of a sustained team. They want to be able to survive the burst from Black and then turn it around. That's kind of what Zeke's Herald's for, is once you survive the burst, it helps you turn it around a little bit easier with that team lifesteal and everything. But I don't know. We'll see how they can kind of pursue it. Corgi is just getting so deep in the builds, though, that it's so easy for them. Like Morgana, Face Roller did a really nice job early on of getting them in this position. Same thing with Rengar. Rengar was just a beast the entire game. But the fact that Rengar and Corki have so much damage, they can just pick people off very easily. And as long as they can disengage, then they're going to be fine. So that is kind of the concern with Fnatic's team. Usually you consider Mordekaiser a champion that's really hard to chase people with. You need them to bring the fight to you. So, but with the movement speed from Lulu and Nunu, he should be able to chase them a little bit better than usual.
Yep. I also like how at this point in the game, it's still a very close gold game. And most of the lanes now, despite we had some farm advantages in top and mid, things for the most part have evened out a little bit. There is still a massive disparity between Aurelia and Shen. There's a 3K difference, but for the most part, most of the lanes are about 1K apart.
Yeah, it's not that significant a difference in any of the lanes. The biggest one is the top lane, but when you consider that all the gold is stacked on the top lane for Fnatic, it means that the gold is in the hands of the damage dealers for Black. So, it is a pretty even situation. I don't know, we'll see how they kind of progress. I'm kind of curious who Mord's primary target is in the fights, though, because it really is just whoever's closest to him.
Yeah.
He needs to just pick off whoever, which probably means Rengar. But if he can ever pick up Corki, that would be huge. Like if Corki ever goes down, that would be a big win. But Corki with the GA, that just makes it so much more difficult for them.
Yeah, we saw in the previous fights, Face Roar was on the brunt end of the ultimate. So I think it's kind of like a disappointment on XPK as far as like, Corki, I wanted you. You were the one. Morgana, I guess I'll settle for you. You're my second place.
Corki, I choose you.
You got Black mobilizing top lane, looking to push onto the tier 2.
Yeah, Fnatic's way out of position.
Yeah, Fnatic is a little bit split, but you also have Shen. Alvic just doing what Shen does best, being away from the team, looking to split push just a little bit. Ezreal going to be clearing some of the minion waves, but the damage is going to be too great. Black will take out that tier 2 pretty easy. And yep, now it's all killing time. It's all killing time for Alvic to keep this wave pushed up. You got Black, they're staying very defensive here in the enemy jungle. You got about another minute until Baron comes back up, and they can create a position for themselves. They get all the lanes pushed, so forcing Fnatic into a bad spot if they want to try and contest the Baron. That would be ideal.
Yeah, they are kind of pushing around Fnatic right now. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see whether or not Fnatic feels they could contest that Baron, or if they just feel like they're on the defensive right now. Because I think Fnatic, one thing that Black's done really well has just been pushing all the lanes. And we talked about that previously, how pushing all the lanes, the benefits you can get from that. But if Black continues to keep all these lanes pushed up, then Fnatic might be kind of scared that if they lose one fight, all of a sudden they're going to lose an inhibitor and the game's going to be over. So I'm really curious about how that dynamic factors into the next Baron fight.
I'm looking at Side-Eye's build and progress, and we already mentioned he had the Warmogs, he had the Force of Nature, and now he's got the Thorn Mail. I did not believe that a Yeti could wear 3 sets of armor stacked on top of each other.
He's basically looking to just completely shut down Corki. Like, he is going to just chase Corki out of the fights, and the hope is that Corki just can't kill him at all. That's usually the case with Nunu, is that Nunu can chase down the AD carry, and with the attack speed slow on the snowball, the AD carry can't really do anything. But when you consider that he's as tanky as he is and has all of that Thorn Mail as well, it's going to make things really difficult for Dakozy. So I'm kind of curious to see how Dakozy is going to respond to that, and if they can keep Nunu off of him and burst him down fast enough.
You got the Shen ult.
Oh, he's going in.
Once again, the Rengar with the stealth looking to get the jump. XPK getting very low. Less than a quarter health. Cyanide with the ultimate to try and split up the rest of the team. Soaz focusing down Naprin. The Rengar should be going down here. Dude, does have the Guardian Angel that will proc Face Roar with the Zonias. Looking for more damage on the Soaz, and no kill. Nothing. There was a GA blown, so Naprin's not going to have that for a while. But in the process, did not manage to put the cooldown for Guardian Angel on any holders of it for Fnatic. Not Ezreal, not Aurelia.
Yeah, they are low enough, though. They are going for the Baron. 2 of the members did have to go back. Ezreal's pretty low, even with that GA. And they're being extremely aggressive here. This is a really dangerous situation for Black, but we'll see if they can pick it up. 2,000 gold left. It seems that they've got the Baron. So, yes, nice. They are able to grab it. And Aurelia wasn't able to stop them. Aurelius, they're actually trying to pick up Aurelia here.
They got Soaz caught out in the brush. Never getting very low, but there is the Guardian Angel proc. Soaz should be coming back in just a second. And Wu out back. His Guardian Angel also pops. Alvic gets caught out, cannot get out of that metal sandwich. Face Roar with the bind from the river, but Dakozy is on a bit of a rampage, but can he live? He does have his Guardian Angel come in. Fat Mama on the Ritual does not have the ult bind from Morgana, keeping XPK still, and Raided still looking to contest.
Oh, he gets it.
Nice kill onto XPK. Dakozy with the long run. He is still technically trapped. Rengar and Raided blowing up immediately. This was a huge extended fight for Black. Beautiful, beautiful plays.
Yeah, and Black, I wasn't sure that they were going to be able to take advantage of that, but they just knew how strong they were. I was very surprised they decided to force that because they had the Baron. They could have just left immediately. There was nothing that kept them there that forced them to fight, and they just decided, even though they were low health, that they were going to take Fnatic, and they knew that they wanted Fnatic outside in the open because Fnatic's been so successful the past couple of fights because they've been able to retreat into their turrets, and so even though Black was able to take a lead in most fights, Fnatic runs out of there into their turrets, and Black can't chase them down. So now that Black had him out in the open, they're like, we're taking advantage of this opportunity. We don't want to stall underneath their turret. We don't want to have to fight them anymore. We're taking this game right now. And Black, they knew how strong they were. I was surprised they were able to turn it around. They had some really nice kiting. They were able to poke people down individually and kite around Fnatic. So Mordekaiser, as a good example, he was never damaging anyone in the fight because he was bound or being chased away. So despite how strong XPK is, he had a very little role in that fight. So a really cool play from Fnatic, and then Corki obviously at the end being able to get out of there. And
there's the initiation play once again coming from Black. Rengar ult with the Shen ult.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even consider that combo.
And Rengar, he just barely survived with that W. The armor magic resist it gives him, as well as the heal. He got down to like 200 HP and was just barely able to get out of there. So really excellent play from Black.
XPK is working towards his own Guardian Angel. He may have it very soon, but it's just a matter of having that extra life to defend against the incoming push from Black. For now, though, Black is more than content with just cleaning up the enemy jungle of all the objectives. You do have a little bit of split push coming in from Alvic. He should be fine. You got Corki get Dekosi top lane pushing that wave. So now it is defense time for Fnatic. They just have to pick a lane, make sure their objectives stay up tight. Mid inhibitor is still going to be down for a little while, but you have this wonderful, wonderful split push coming in from Black.
Yeah, they are pressuring all the lanes, having that inhibitor down. They have all the power right now, and so as getting caught out of position, Naprion will be able to take him down. He's trying to grab Alvic, though. He's getting very close. With the Ignite, I think he actually got it. Did he get Shen? Oh, no, just barely.
Wow.
Wow, so with the shield and everything.
Yeah, he has that elixir. He has a red elixir.
No, it was already popped.
I know it was already popped, but if he didn't have it,
oh yeah,
that would have been a kill easy.
But it looked like Aurelia had it there, and they're slowly poking down the turret with the heal that Sona has, with the regen from the Baron. They can just tank that turret and still pressure it, so really nice job from Black. Fnatic, they don't have very good range clearing, and so it makes it difficult for them to stall here, and as a result, Corki gets to just poke him down with that red buff. Might actually go in for it. XPK dropping very quickly, and Corki doesn't want to chase that, but now turning around with the Shen ultimate, will go straight for that turret. Now they have another inhibitor down, and will be able to continue to pressure Fnatic. I'm not sure that Fnatic can come back at this point. It is Black has just completely taken control, with some really impressive play throughout the game.
Amazing, amazing play, and Rengar, he did it pretty damn well. He has great presence. Alvic, in combination with that, is fantastic. Face forward, very solid play, and Dekosi doing work all game. Just wonderful, wonderful team coordinated plays. And actually, when the game ends, if and when the game ends here, it may not even end here. We're going to find out in just a moment. They still have the push. The Baron buff is actually now gone. So there's a little bit of disadvantage for Black, but they still have the power. They still have the damage. Cyanide out in front, looking for the slows. And Raided also not too far behind. Does have the shield, looking to get a straight Glitter Lance. Rengar out in front. His GA is back. He does have that extra life. Did Mordekaiser finish his? Yes, he did.
Yeah, and so they are just slowly wearing into the base. They're waiting for the super minions to come up, and they should be up shortly. So it's actually probably the next wave that's at the mid lane for top and bottom. Once those get up there, then they'll pressure the base in. But right now, they're just kind of wearing them down, and Black wants to make sure they don't get too low before this final fight. And yeah, they'll be able to pressure in Fnatic.
You get the mini waves are being delayed just a little bit there top lane. The pressure is just way too much to handle. Guardian Angel on Shenta. There you go, Ezreal starting things off. And then Voodoo ult to counteract the Morgana ult just a little bit. Nice Zonias to prevent all of that damage. Alvin getting very low. The face roller does get caught out. Taunt from Shen down onto Soaz. The GA will start rocking soon. Naprin out in front. There's that first death. He's going to be back in a second, but Decozy getting as much damage as he can before the Rengar comes back up. Naprin, will he go down here? Nice regen, but no, will not be enough. Decozy and Soaz both killed each other just for time. It should be fine. And now Black is on the retreat. Fnatic defending successfully here.
Yeah, I'm surprised, and none of them went down. That's the shocking thing. XPK,
their GAs are still up.
Right, and XPK and Soaz were just so strong up in the front line. The shields from N-rated as well were able to keep them alive. It's still a long way, you know, for a comeback here.
Yeah.
Like, they have to clear out the mid a little bit because it's going to pressure that inhibitor, but. I don't know. You know, that was a huge comeback, and it's kind of an unusual team synergy that Fnatic has, and we talked about that throughout the game. It is kind of an unusual comp, but the main goal of the comp is to just be like this unstoppable wall of, you know, these tanky bruiser kind of champions that just don't die and just slowly pushes out, and that's kind of what you saw in that previous fight. They, you know, just slowly were able to wear down Black, and so as an XPK, they never went down.
And there's the constant problem too when you have a team starting to stack those GAs. If you ever end up in a disadvantaged fight where the enemy team still has more GAs than you do and you were the aggressors, Fnatic, they still have two up. They still have an Mordekaiser, they still have an Ezreal. All of the GAs from Black are now down, but they do still have a positional advantage. They do still have minions pushing onto Fnatic's base. They are still going to be able to grab this Baron pretty easy. Try again.
Yeah, so, I mean, with the Baron, the regen that it gives them, they can just slowly wear down Fnatic. They don't have to pressure one big fight. They can just have a slow, long fight that constantly pressures them. So, you know, the regen is going to be really huge. It's going to be tough for Fnatic to deal with that sort of regen. So we'll see what happens. So as his shield is still down, so he actually sold it. No, he didn't sell it. Okay. I didn't see the buff for a second. So his shield is down, so we'll see, you know, if that factors into anything, but he's actually forcing the fight. Soaz
out in front, looking to chunk out Alvin, and Never just a little bit sided out in front with the ultimate. Does take a huge chunk of damage off the face roller. That Zonias is a little bit delayed. XPK with the ultimate onto the Cozy. Gets a little bit too far out. His GA will proc. You got the Sona ult, stunning the Ezreal and the Aurelion. Ward blows up right as he comes back. The mid inhibitor will fall down once again. Aurelion very low, so does have to get back to base, but now the Nexus turrets, they've already been weakened by the earlier push. Is walks right on in and finish all of that business. Soaz getting stunned is also exhausted. Alvin getting chunked out huge, but both Nexus turrets are now down. The Nexus is naked and rated. Wu and Soaz are the only ones here to defend, and it is not going to be enough. Game one, going to Black after those long series of fantastic team fights and wonderful pushes.
Yeah, really nice play from Black there. Fnatic trying to hold off at the end. Soaz just with the really aggressive initiation at the end took me by surprise. But, you know, he knew that if they lost that inhibitor again, then they're just basically screwed. So just trying to force a fight very quickly, see what they could do. But Black, really impressive play in that game. So it's, you know, very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what Black can do. Chest bump for Black victory? No. Yeah, so we'll be able to check back, but we'll be coming back shortly. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll see Fnatic versus Black game number 2.